Get out of your toxic relationship before it's too late. On a two-day weekend bender, really, shooting a film. It's currently in the process of editing. I will have to do some pickups and reshoots, but the plan will be to eventually get this thing circulated into film festivals, specifically Trop Fests, and see where it takes me. If it gets picks up, if it gets any interest at all, that would be awesome. And yeah, just shooting for the clouds, see what happens. So, fingers crossed.
Hell yeah. Oh, hello, everyone. Please consider subscribing if you like our content. Thank you. Speaking of YouTubers making films, the film we're reviewing will be Obsession. It was directed by Curry Barker, which I've never heard of him as a YouTuber or anything, but he's been the YouTube space has been killing it. You got the Raka Raka boys. You got what's the other bloke that made that blood movie?
Blood movie.
Jacksepticeye's bigger brother. That's all right. I think the YouTubers
Markiplier.
Markiplier. That's it.
Okay. Yeah. Cool. Him. And let's not forget Chris Stuckman, even though his film wasn't well received.
Sorry, Chris. Yeah, it was. Yeah, he still did it. I'll give him that.
Yeah. No dissing him at all, man. Like he still stuck it out and made a feature film. I struggled to do a short, so kudos to him. Kudos to everyone who actually makes a film and succeeds with it, man.
Let's be real. You've got a full-time job, and this is what he does for a living. So, you gotta pat yourself a bit more on the back. It's been a hectic shoot for us, but
it has. But humility, just a little humility wherever it goes, man. Like it doesn't matter if I've got $1 million in my back pocket or not. If the film hits, the film hits. So yeah, well, we shall see how mine does in circulation.
And more money is more problems, as Snoop Dogg said, or was it Jay-Z? Or one of those rappers.
I don't know.
more money, more problems,
Money on my mind, money on my money, yeah.
Okay, yes. We've got the cast. Indy Naravet as Nikki and Michael Johnson as Bear. Now, their performances were really, really good. I want to kind of tiptoe into this review a bit because there's quite a lot of things to discuss. But you want to go through the plot real quick?
Sure. Yeah, so the general synopsis is a boy has a crush on a girl and he is nervous or socially awkward, just does not have the nerve to say how he really feels about this chick, and every chance he gets to say something, there's some kind of weird cosmic thing that stops him from doing it, whether it's himself or out of forces he has no control over. And given enough chances, he kind of wimps out about it. So the plot begins when he purchases a Wish-O-Willow. I think that's what they call them.
A one-wish willow. Yes.
One-wish willow, thank you. And makes a wish so that Nikki, the girl of his dreams, falls madly in love with him and no one else. And from the get-go, the repercussions of that ensue. And yeah, long story short, man, this was a very unsettling movie.
Unnerving and unsettling. Yes.
Yeah, it really was. It didn't have to be the cheap old jump scares to get your attention, man. It was, I mean, like you said, it was the performances that carried the entire film. And Bear, and especially the actress that played Nikki, she smacked it out of the freaking field, man. She
smacked it out of the film. I like that saying.
Oh, bro, it was so like unsettling, but also like it left me just in wait. Not for a jump scare, but the actress, the character in this film is like the extremity of bipolar, right? She's really happy at one point, and then she'll just go full blown Mad Hatter. And it's the anticipation of waiting for that to happen that just left me on edge throughout the entire film. It was really, really effective. Because, like, even when things seem to be going good, even when Bear seems to be like, ticking off all the boxes for her, she's all of a sudden have this weird snap moment. It just leaves it like, oh God, please, please don't, you're scaring me, stop it, stop it.
Yeah, and I can imagine
was
it's a pretty hard role for Bear because Bear has to go between being a nerd,
true.
but then being like really into her and then not knowing and then being confused and then liking her again and then liking her but being
Yeah.
confused because she's crazy. He's got like 10
Not
different
only like being
emotions.
terrified of her, but like being terrified of her in a position where this is someone that he actually loves.
Yeah, so
It's
it's
like
a weird
some random
dilemma.
flash character. It
And he-
is. It's a hell of a lot of emotions for one character to uphold. So yeah, that's a fair point. Like I'm giving more credit to Nikki only because her
yeah,
character is more explosive. But the actor that plays Bear, everything he's doing is in response to that explosion. So yeah, absolutely credit where credit's due. They both are pretty much equal responsible for carrying the weight of this film.
and
Um,
credits to the director because it's a relatively simple story, or
mm,
it's been done before, but they've just done it, and he did it in a really good way. And it
yeah,
shows that you can get a very simple premise and just make it really good and make it
for sure.
interesting and unnerving. Um, I was also going to say that I lost the train of thought. Yes. Anyway. Oh yeah. Oh yes. The acting in the beginning of the movie, I was a little bit. I don't know. I didn't really like Bez acting. I thought it was a bit cliche. Honestly, I'm like, oh, okay, like, well, what's going on here? But as the movie went along and along and along, I realized, wait a second, I think this director, this motherfucking director, did that on purpose. He kind of made him, especially Bess, seem like a really dorky, at times really annoyingly insecure.
Yeah,
Yeah, and it was,
socially
socially
awkward
awkward.
and like anxiety and all the other jazz. Yeah, for sure. That was
But
definitely
it
intentional.
was to put us off guard. And I think this movie did a
Mm,
really good job putting you off guard,
mm,
especially for us or me that I didn't know anything about this film really. I heard it's maybe good. I didn't watch the trailer, so I didn't know how things were going to at all turn out. But yeah, I'm really impressed how it was like kind of put us off guard. I thought it was going to be like more basic, I don't know, more streamlined. But then it just, as the movie
teenage
went on,
horror. Yeah,
it just the intensity went up 100-fold throughout the film.
absolutely, man. Yeah, there's definitely a breaking point in the film where it just went from like, let's say, an 8 to 11 in terms of like the extreme extravagance of it all. Um, Not to say it's without its faults. Like, I feel, I feel the film is weakest leg is on what to do with the side characters. Um, Forgotten their names. I think one of
Uh
them was called Ian, and I think it's Sarah. Pretty much the only other really two characters in the film. We get like a cameo with Andy Richter, who pretty much owns like a
yep,
music store,
Ian Sarah.
and yeah, yeah, that's them. Like, you got Ian who throughout the entire film is basically like the word of caution to Bear, and like I felt like they'll build into something, but when like when push came to shove, all of a sudden Ian became the cliche best friend who doesn't believe a word his friend is saying, and I thought that was a pretty weak point.
We got spoilers here, by the
Um,
way. You can, if you want to mention anything, you can.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right. So the spoiler version, Ian has been kind of confused when this whole wish thing happens. Like, obviously, we don't know. No one knows about the wish thing except Bear. But whenever again Bear gets a chance to tell, he doesn't. He's very vague about it, or doesn't tell him at all. It's just like he's just in denial about what's going on. But I was enjoying the fact that Ian, his best friend throughout the film, was like a cautionary guy. Like he was concerned about why is Nikki behaving this way. So I thought his involvement was going to start building up. But when the time came for his character to finally get involved in the plot, he turns into that cliche character that doesn't believe a word his best friend is saying. And like when he does finally figure out something, his character's killed off. spoiler alert. I thought that was a weak point, and it felt like they didn't really know what to do with the character Ian and Sarah, who Sarah is just there to be a catalyst for Nikki to go nuts. You know, it was kind of predictable that at some point in this film, she's going to presume Sarah and Bear are doing a thing, you know, doing something on the side, which is exactly what happens. You know, they're alone together in a car. It's kind of suggested that they might have a thing happening, and then before we get a chance for anything to unravel, one of the most violent deaths in the film occurs, which is Sarah getting her head smashed into a steering wheel
57 times.
Yeah, who counted that, right? To the point where like she's got no face left, and it's just an eyeball, and everything else is just like, you know, raw meat. Pretty visceral.
Very.
But I just feel like that was probably the weakest part of the film was the outcome for Sarah and Ian. I thought they could have been a bit more clever with the writing, or at least just have much more impact. You know, maybe on attempt to try and save Nikki backfires or something instead of just being victims of her craziness. One other thing.
Well, I agree. Like, that was to me the biggest negative too. I thought maybe Ian would have a bit more of a role. I thought Sarah had a bit more of a role than Ian. Ian, to me, he could have had more.
Kind of.
Like maybe Ian put a wish that caused Bear to now be in this situation in the first place or something. I thought maybe there was something going on, like, ooh, you know, what's gonna happen, but it ends up just being very cliche. $1 billion falls on his head, and then he gets shot in the head from Nikki. I agree. That was their kind of anticlimactic with their friends part of it. There was such a big part in the start of the movie. So exactly. You would assume that it would kind of develop with them, but no, it doesn't. It falls flat.
Yeah. And the only other pet peeve I have is probably, I don't know if it's a creative choice or if it was because it's a low budget film and that's what they had only available. I've had the same issue with my own project. Is just lighting choices. I feel like in some areas the film is a little too dark to be dark, and I get they're trying to introduce like shadow corners where, you know, Nikki's just hiding in a corner and she'll creepily step out of it, but I feel like in some sequences it's just too much darkness for the film's own good, and like trying to convey a narrative through a person's expression can sometimes be watered down because of how dark the scene is. Again, that's a pet peeve because the irony to shoot in nighttime is to bring as much light to the scene as possible, and then through edit and all that, you dumb it down. But something tells me, because of whatever production value this film had, they were limited to lighting effects and all that stuff, maybe, or it's a creative choice, and I'm just, you know, shooting this cow in the head and all that stuff. Either way, I just feel like some of the lighting scenarios could have been a bit better, and that's just me being nitpicky.
Well, I kind of disagree. I thought the lighting, unless there were specific scenes I didn't notice, a lot of the lighting scenes really made it. Like the bedroom scene when it was very dark and you couldn't see her, that made it. Oh, so you're not
fine.
Okay.
I'm talking about the whole film in general.
There's
in the beginning, before the wishes even occurred, they step out of a nightclub or whatever the hell they were from, and I just feel like where's the light? Why aren't any of the lights switched on in this particular scene? You know, it kind of felt like fan-forstic, where like the director chose to not have any office lighting throughout his whole film, and it's so damn noticeable.
Yeah, but towards the end of the film, it becomes opposite. I thought the theme, I don't know about the lighting or the tints, they used like a very draggy kind of unsaturated tints as the movie went on. And that made it look really good. Like I thought stylistically the movie looked sick, especially the second and third acts. I don't know, maybe it was a purpose thing that they purposely did that.
That's what I just said. Yeah, I don't know if it was intentional or if there were lack of, but just some scenarios where you're visually trying to tell the story, sometimes you need more lighting to just exemplify it. And this is before all the chaos and all the horror begins. Felt like some scenes could have been lit a bit more better. And again, nitpick. It's just me in juxtaposition to how I would have lit it versus how they either chose to or they were limited to. I don't know. But even a simple scene like I think it was a dinner sequence when they were in a restaurant. I just like I'm looking at the light and going, this light should have been on, that light should have been on. You know, it was just like turn some freaking lights on in this film. But
and the party, yeah, do you reckon that when they had the house party, I felt like that was kind of done kind of amateurishly a tiny bit.
Mm-hmm.
The house party.
Talking about like characters or the lighting?
Oh no, just in general. That I thought it was kind of done a little like, you know, you got the friends chilling on the couch and it keeps cutting back to them. But I don't know, I feel like it was kind of done a bit cheaply, where it's so much better done later in the movie.
Right.
Anyway, that's
I'm just trying to remember it, because all I remember is how she reacted to Bear having to kiss Sarah.
See, that was a sick. I don't care anyway. That was a sick scene. The sound, the sound effect of like the chair going, it was so good. It was very loud in the cinema. I don't know, that's a little thing that was negative, but that was just.
I don't know if that was intentional, because like there's a lot of scenes in this film where Nikki has outbursts of just absolute unnecessary rage and screams and all this stuff, and because of how loud it was, it's just so irritating. It was not irritating, but it was like, oof.
Yep.
I do not want to see that happen again, and that's what I'm anticipating throughout the whole film. I was waiting for her randomly to explode again.
But when she was behind,
that's what kept me on edge.
When she was behind the, she was in the bathroom having a shower, and he's like,
and he says he wants to have a boys' night out,
and he just like the whole thing turns, and she just like, dude, it's like, dude, that was so good.
For me, it was when they were in bed and like she's been all cuddly, and then I think he tried to like leave the bed, and she just goes,
yeah,
just like, oh Jesus Christ.
And she's got some good voice, some good voice changes. Like she could act like an old Victorian. So it makes me think it was like a demon that was in her, because, or something like that, something that has multiple errors in its soul.
Definitely something supernatural, because there's one sequence when the Make-A-Wish box, there's a phone number that says if you have any issues, call it, and he's calling it, and there's a guy talking to him on the line, and we start laughing because it sounded like some nonchalant, not caring stoner.
Like, hilarious. You know what he looks like? He's got his hat backwards, and he's smoking. He just finished smoking a freaking Billy.
He's just on a couch. He's like, huh?
He's not getting paid enough for the job.
But we soon realized, spoiler alerts, that this guy on the phone, there's something more to him than just being a regular guy. Like, I think this was some other dimensional kind of being, because all of a sudden he's like, do you want to talk to Nikki?
Yeah, that confused me.
All of a sudden we start hearing the real Nikki start screaming and crying, calling for help. So, yeah, it's like when he made the wish, it's like the spirit of Nikki was like held hostage by whatever this Make-A-Wish entity cult thing is. It's probably something else I'll go into.
Yeah, a little pet peeve I think you're going to mention on that.
Yes. Yeah, it's kind of a Key and Peele horror kind of thing. Like, how does the rules work?
Yeah,
and like these Willow wishes, did every single one of them work all the time, or is it just random? Because it works off the bat for Bear. He gets Nikki to fall in love with him, and then when he gives the wish to Ian, he wishes for $1 billion, and that rains billions. So, like, are you telling me that this product that is sold just as like a toy collectible for like, what was it, $7.90? It works every time in this world, in this universe? Because if that's true, this is something that should be more well aware.
A bigger deal.
Right?
Yeah.
But then we have the Google search, but they can't use Google, so they're using whatever the version they use. I think it was like Prime search. He's going on to Reddit, whatever version it was, and it's like people saying, no, it doesn't work. No, it doesn't work. Then you get the 1 out of 10 that says, yeah, it works, and it's crazy. So, like, because they've introduced this thing, this MacGuffin, I want to know the rules around it. I want to know a little bit more of how it's established in this world. Yeah. But we don't get that because that's not the point of the film.
What were their wishes, man?
It's there now.
They're like, the people on Google must have been like, I wish for a second dog or something. Like as if you wouldn't be like
a second mortgage.
Dude,
Okay.
I wish there was 10 universes inside my house or something.
Well, I mean, like you got to think of every cliche, right? Like one of them being, "I wish for $1 billion." If
King of the
will
world.
wishes have work every time,
King of the world, man.
you know, like yeah, they've kind of established something that they could definitely expand on outside of the parameters that this film suggests. But that's not the point of the film. But unfortunately, that's just me being a curious George. You know, like I need to know the rules now. I'm kind of like doing a Jared. Like, what's its limitations? How does it work? I need to know the ins and outs. But we don't get that
Yeah.
because that's not the point of the film. You know, the wish is just the symbolic metaphor, really, for a person's beware what you wish for kind of rules, and a hyper extension metaphor of a very fucking toxic relationship, right? We're playing in the world of supernatural, but we also hit on a lot of nerves of such like, you know, what mental disorder and attachment can do to a relationship. There's a few people in my life that are like that, and this is this could be a good therapy movie for some people to see. This is where the worst case scenario of your relationship can lead.
Yeah, let's not do that. Yeah, another.
You know, when I want to have a night with the boys, I just want to have a night out with the boys.
Yeah, you don't have to.
Simple.
This is how I see. Yeah, that was good. That was, like, it was a very good for like a mixed audience. There was a lot of youngsters in our cinema,
Yeah,
and they were freaking
house.
out. They were freaking out at the most basic shit, man. In the beginning, they were freaked
They were.
out. By the end of the movie, they must have just been like traumatized.
I noticed a transition in our audience because there's a row of friends that were laughing at first to when Nikki started acting obsessed and lovey-dovey and all this stuff. But I think around about the halfway mark of the film, no one was finding this film funny or silly anymore. Everybody, I think, was just on edge. So I think the film did its job perfectly.
The girl next to me had her eyes closed at certain scenes. She couldn't watch. I saw, like, I don't know, I peered over and I saw her.
Dude, I have to admit, because I'm waiting for her to just have an outburst, I was just like, just looking off camera, because I'll admit, I jump scare so easily, man. When there's a jump scare in a horror film, I'm like, here it comes, here it comes, here it comes, here it comes, here it comes. But for this film, I was doing that the entire film. It had me like waiting on edge when she's gonna explode, and every time I thought it was gonna happen, it didn't. And then I'd be like, okay, it's not happening. Oh, there she goes.
Yeah. Another rule thing, I remember we had a brief discussion after the movie is the real Nikki comes out once every while. And
yeah,
we don't really know why, when it happens.
What was the trigger?
What was the trigger? That was such an alluring part. The first time it happens, where she just freaks out and goes, "This isn't real. What's going on?" Like, dude, and like she stabs herself in the face. I want to know more.
To, like, kill herself, I think. So like when the wish originally happens and Bear's sit in the car, Nikki does go in and out of it. Like she like starts getting infatuated by Ben. She's like, "Whoa, what am I doing? What's going on?" And then all of a sudden, it's like amnesia. She forgets, and then she's back to infatuated. And then there's a part where they start to make out a couple scenes later, and it's like I feel like it's because Bear is taken to the next level of this relationship. The real Nikki kind of escapes for a second. Because it all of a sudden turns like, what the fuck are you doing? You just like kind of almost suggests like Bear was going to sexually assault her, and then she starts back out of it again.
Right, maybe in intense moments. In intense moments for her, she comes out of it for a second, maybe.
Yeah, there's that, but then like it gets to a point where obviously it's been in this like state for a long time, and then there's still moments of her triggering of Nikki escaping and like being in control for a couple seconds. Unless I've missed it on first glance, I want to know what the triggers were. Was it like something Bear said? Was it something Bear did? Was it something that Nikki saw that like all of a sudden the real Nikki snapped out of it? But it just seems random.
Yeah,
and
you didn't go anywhere really with it. They could have maybe be used to like explain towards the end like why, and that could have helped the ending a bit.
Yeah, because there's one point there where she sleep talks, the real Nikki sleep talks to Bear and basically begs him to kill her. So I thought that was going to become a thing that was reoccurring. Or, like, maybe if the bewitched Nikki was drugged or extremely drunk, maybe that would allow the real Nikki to escape or something for a short while. I thought maybe they were going to go towards that, but they didn't.
I'm glad they didn't, honestly. I didn't want to see the real Nikki that much. I like those short outbursts. I didn't want the real Nikki to be like, all right, Nikki, you can have your real self for a day. And it becomes like a freaking comedy.
No. I don't think it'd be like that at all. I think it'd be like for a few seconds at most of like Nikki trying to explain something. Maybe because Nikki's held hostage in this kind of dimension or where the hell it was. Maybe she could like give insight to Bear on how to like beat it or something. I didn't expect it to be like, hey, you can be the real Nikki for a day because you're drunk. No, there's no way that would work. But yeah, I just want to know more of the rules. I just want to know more of that lore that they've set up. So like, I mean, I feel like this is going to be a successful story in terms of a horror film. So soon enough, they'll probably do a sequel, and hopefully they can expand on it, but not to the point where it kind of kills the eeriness of it.
Yes,
because it'll be a complete different story. Like, I doubt someone's going to wish someone to love them again and have the wash, rinse, repeat of the same thing. So, yeah, they could really play on the repercussions of a wish in the similar sense of Black Mirror. Like how technology is such a benefit, but here's the negatives. They could probably do sequels of this is what happens when you wish for this. World peace, for example. Let's see the extreme negativities of having the world at peace. Because I guarantee someone would psychologically know the downtrodden of that.
Yeah, no, they could definitely do that where they could, like, all right, a new cup. This is a new story where someone else picks up the wish. Yeah, they could easily like extend this universe. If done,
don't play it on the same
correctly.
beat. Just like expand different avenues. Keep it as a horror, of course, but don't let it be the same plot. Like, I wish he loved me. Like, we've seen that in this film, and it's done to an extreme effect.
Yes,
The repercussions
very
of
well.
a basic wish.
Yeah.
And so let's expand on other cliche
World
wishes.
peace. That's a perfect one. It's like world peace. Everyone's happy. Then people just go crazy because it's like there's nothing. Yeah. There's no drama going on.
What is happy without sadness?
Exactly.
Right? What is joy without anger? It's like you need the both. You need the yin and the yang. So yeah, they could definitely play on that for sequel upon sequel. So yeah, I think the director has this movie on his little string now. So let's see what he goes with it.
Yes. So we also have. What do you think about the rewatchability of this film? I'm comparing it to other YouTubers that made like Talk to Me. No, not Talk to Me. Mm-hmm. Sorry, Bring Her Back. I know it's something you've watched multiple times. Is this a movie you could go back and watch, or are you kind of like, oh, I got it?
If I have to compare this to Bring It Back, like this is very effective in terms of the thriller side of it. Bring It Back is more so effective to me as a cohesive narrative. I feel like the story beats in Bring It Back are much more powerful and effective, and more to the point of storytelling. A lot of the stuff in this is just very impacting, and it's intentionally meant to make you feel uncomfortable. So,
yeah, it was different.
Rewatchability for me isn't Bring It Back. I would definitely watch this again, but it's not exactly the film I'm going to pick on a weekend and say, hey, let's watch Obsession. I'm definitely going to show this film to my mum because I know she'll love it. She
Honestly,
loves horror films.
I would. Yeah, with someone that hasn't watched it before, I kind of want to see their reaction.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And like, I will watch it again to see if maybe I've missed something in terms of like what triggers Nikki to break out of it. Because on a second viewing, you can look away from where the scene is trying to tell you to look, and pick up on other things. So, yeah, trying to do my research on it. It's still going to leave me freaking uncomfortable because her performance in it is...
Yeah. And it's hard to scare two old guys like us. We've seen too much. We get like, oh, another horror movie. Yeah. It's hard to get us, especially with horror films. But this one got us, man. Like
it did.
Yeah.
It did. It left us like And like, I think a lot of people need to differentiate the difference between being scared of a film and being jump scared in a
Oh,
film.
100%. Yeah.
Being jump scared is so easy, man. It's just like you set up noise, you know, like, oh, okay, I'm scared for a second. That's not really being scared. What we're talking about is something that leaves us just like cringing, for lack of a better word. Something that just leaves us like, oh God, no, I can't. I know it's coming, but I can't. No, 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 no. That's a completely different feeling. And even when we walked out of the cinema, I was still feeling that in here.
Oh, yeah.
Just like, oh, it's like, kind of like a sickness from what I saw. And that to me is respect to the film. It did its job.
Man, that's the best way to leave a horror film is like an hour after it, you're still kind of unsettled by it.
Yeah, I was.
Yeah,
I was driving home
that
and
was
just
me.
rewinding the film. I was like, ooh.
Yeah. Anyway, back to pet peeves. One little one was the music in it or the sound really started to pick up in moments where shit started to happen, and I wasn't a big fan of that. I feel like they could have kept some scenes more kind of still without the the bass and all the percussion or whatever went up with like it's like, oh, it's a scary moment going on, but I wasn't a fan of that. It's like, oh, you could have left that underneath and then we could have been scared by the visuals and everything instead. And I think they did that in the first and second act a lot. I've got one scene, Bear was in the car, and I've got exactly what happened, but the music, the sounds went up, and you could tell, oh, something's going on. But I don't like when they use sounds like that to convey scariness. I like the visuals to do that. So that was a small pet peeve. What do you think about that one?
Honestly, a lot of the ambience, it was like white noise to me. I wasn't really hearing it because it was probably there constantly. So, like, I mean, there's a few moments I can get what you're coming from, especially at the third act when, like, she's clearly out on the deep end.
No,
They used
yeah.
but like,
yeah,
I don't know. A lot of the
that was fine with me. The third act was fine. It was the first couple of acts where they did it. They didn't need to. I thought the third act was almost brilliant with the visuals, with the sound and all that. It was just more of the content. Yeah.
Yeah, well, same answer. I didn't really hear it, honestly. Like, I think because I was more like anticipating the performances that it just kind of went over my head. A lot of the choices of score and ambience. So, like, I'll have to watch it again and see what you mean. I'll probably watch it again in a couple weeks' time with mum when it's like in streaming and all that stuff. And try to pick up on it. But 9 times out of 10, man, I didn't hear any music. It was just, I don't know. I didn't want to hear it. I don't know.
Some of the scenes, man, like the party, they went to, like the restaurant scene, they had a really good mix between the awkwardness of like you're in a restaurant and you're making too much noise, it's awkward, but with that unsettling awkward of this is a freak, what's inside her, what's going on. It had a really good mix between teenage awkwardness and like real like freaking what's going on.
And I'm so glad they showcased her in public doing the same things because I was waiting for, like, especially at the party, I was waiting for her to be all completely normal, having the time of her life. And then, of course, all her friends, all Bear's friends, assume he's the problem and not her. But I'm so glad when it's switched up and we actually see this obsessive side of her because of this wish. That was very cringe moment. You could feel everybody in that scene's awkwardness. I think anybody would react the exact same way. Just seeing this person, Nikki, who I'm pretty sure they're all affiliated with in one way or another, just like go off the fucking rails. Like you probably assume that she's suffering from like severe depression or is on meth or something. It's just like, wow, she needs help, but I'm not going to be the one to help her because I don't want to deal with that shit.
Yeah, and some of the monologue she goes in and she changes character, and that was really well done. A part of me was like
different accents.
Yeah, a part of me was like, all right, this is a bit like bit up itself, but no, I did like it. I thought it was freaky. She did the monologue, and then the music stops, and everyone's just like, "What?" She's like, "I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. All right, I'm not kidding anymore."
And then she goes, "Okay, I'm not kidding. Deal with it."
Yeah, so there was a comedy in there, but it was such well put in comedy that it's so natural. It wasn't like forcefully forced in there.
I feel like I
Yeah,
think
there you go.
her doing the monologue, I think, is just like, you know, when like you're having a crush on someone, and you're going to write a poem for him. It's like, and the poem was every cliche you can imagine, and
Yeah.
from some rom com book. That's exactly what that was. But with her, it's not cutesy wootsy. It's the extremity of that side of her, you know, because that's what the wish did. Fall madly in love with Bear more than anyone else in the world. So that's a lot to handle.
Yeah, and the way she was saying it was just, where she's like, "Oh, and I want him inside my crevices." Like, I did. I'm
Yeah,
trying.
it's starting to get way more perverse. It's one of those freaking, you know, crude books that like middle-aged women read underneath their pillow to get some excitement in their life. I was like, oh,
Yeah. And
Jesus Christ.
what do you think about how it all ended? Because we thought maybe there's 10 different ways it could have ended, and it took what?
I got pretty to what I thought was going to happen, but it flipped on it. I thought, um, you know, because they set it up because Bear's cat died accidentally eating these pills, which I'm presuming it was only meant to have one a day or something. So they set up these pills to be a tool.
It's oxycodone. It's when you have really bad injuries. It's like the best painkiller. It has like a bunch of codeine in it. It's what like druggers use. They try and get under the table, but he actually uses it. Anyway, yeah.
Respectfully, yeah, he gulps it. So I thought what was going to happen was he was going to kill himself because that's what they say. Like the curse, I'm going to call it the curse, not a wish. The curse will be lifted if the person that made the wish dies. So Bear was going to take that way out for the sake of Nikki and kill himself. And what I thought was going to happen was Nikki was going to wish him back to life somehow, you know, right before he died or something. And they're still stuck in the same loop. But saying that, you know, Bear would have just tried to off himself another way. So me thinking over that, I'm glad it didn't work. Instead, it turned to Shakespeare, which is kind of ironic with how she does that reciting earlier, where he's taking the pills, but before he dies, she makes the wish with the thing he brought over. And now he's madly in love with her. So they're both literally equal on terms of their infatuation for each other. And there's a glorious moment with happy music. They finally see each other equally in love. And then in Shakespearean form, he ODs on the drugs. And it's beautiful. He dies, and she breaks from that curse to live out the trauma of the rest of her life from whatever she experienced underneath this vague or wherever the hell she was. Was she there? Was she elsewhere? Mentally, who knows? Because we don't get to see that. All we get to see is Nikki pretty much break down in tears, and I don't really think she was upset about Bear dying,
Oh
but
no,
was more so
she pushed him off.
everything she experienced.
Yeah, it was that the torments she went through.
Yeah.
And then she cries, and I like how the credits were going. It was kind of a unique spin.
She cuts away from her. Yeah, credits roll on the TV. I was like, okay, that's interesting. But all we hear is her crying and, like, you know, non-controllably in the background. So, the way I see it, eventually the paramedics or the cops or someone would come, see what's happened. You know, Ian's dead on the ground. Freaking Sarah's, like, been deformed in another chair. There's Bear dead on the ground. Like, they would just presume she killed them because eventually they'll be talking to nearby friends and they'll say, yeah, she's been acting weird for ages, so she's going to prison or a mental asylum.
Yeah, and then
her life is ruined.
In the next movie, they're going to use her as the device to figure out what's going on with the new couple. I don't know. I hope not. But I hope not, because that's been done so many times.
If they do it, hopefully it's not because someone's in love with someone. Hopefully it's different. But they just go to her to see what happened. You know, that's fine by me.
And that scene the scene where you see Sarah on the chair, just like all deformed, and the whole movie, Finn went, "Oh no," because it's like, because you know Nikki loves him so much. She's like, "I know what you want. I know you want her, but you can have her if she's dead." So she is. Oh, dude, that was crazy. Seeing Sarah all deformed and like naked.
Well, that too, but like Nikki like changed her appearance to look like Sarah. She gave herself tattoos and she dyed her hair black, so she looked more like Sarah.
Yeah.
So it's like a little more fucked up. Yeah, I mean, we all saw Sarah was going to die. We all saw that. You know, she's got hopes to move on to go to like university. You know, her last hope is this like what was it called, Ludiad or something. You know, and we knew. I think everyone knew it was going to come. It's like, oh yeah, I have a way out, and then boop. It's just
And Bear was a weird one. It's like he's a really bad guy, but he kind of tries to kill himself for Nikki's real Nikki. But at the same time, he knew she was possessed, and there was moments where he's like, "This isn't right," but he's like still gone with it.
he was in denial for a long
He
time.
was in
Yeah,
denial, but it
he
was
got
a
what he wanted.
weird denial.
The irony is the title obsession of the movie. It's not about Nikki being obsessed with Bear. It's about Bear being obsessed with Nikki, and like the length someone will go to in order to see someone love them. That's the metaphor of the film, right? He's
Yeah,
found a ways to have Nikki love him, you know, with a wish. So I feel like the title obsession is directly at him because yeah, for the longest time he is in denial about what's going on because he's happy. He's got what he wanted, which is Nikki loving him. So yeah, he really is the catalyst of quote unquote the villain of the film because of his selfish choices. And you know, the longevity of the film is what sees all the chaos multiply. And it's again because of him not being a man, not
mm,
as we see him at the beginning of the film and doing what needs to be done, which is being direct. Every time he has a chance to like perform an action or say something, he chickens out. Which is again, you know, a metaphor for someone being a simp to someone who doesn't really love them back. You know, it's fabricated. And yeah, so it's a lesson learned to anybody who is in a toxic relationship. Get the fuck out of it before
get
it's
out
too
of there,
late.
boys.
Because
All
we've all
right.
been there.
Yeah, we've been going for about 40 minutes. I think that's
Yeah, man.
we've talked a bit about it. So we'll go straight into ratings.
Yes.
So I will give this film a hefty 8.5 out of 10.
Yes. Nice. Nice. I will give it an 8. Strongly, generally because of the performances and how it made me feel. It's I'm it's not like the greatest narrative, you know what I mean? It's not the most appealing movie for me to be rewatchable, but what the film is, I'm gonna put this on the catalyst of Requiem for a Dream, which is it's trying to tell you a message and it does it very viscerally and it gets the point across without coming across cringy or pretentious. So that's directly where that 8 out of 10 is going, straight from how it made me feel and the performances that carried the entire film. So yeah,
Yeah, and this is what was his name? Harry Barker. I'm guessing it was his first feature length. If it was, he's got no one's got any business making a film this good as their first film. If it's his first film, I'm guessing it is.
no, it looks like he's done a few other
Oh,
things, and
okay.
they all look like horrors. There's one called Milk and Cereal. Looks like a short film called The Chair. Warnings, but the guy looks like he came from comedy just by the look of him on appearance.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's done a few things, but
Ah,
I don't know this. I'm literally googling it as we speak.
films. Yeah, I'm having a quick squiz here. Kovac concludes 2 complete movies and 2 upcoming major horror studios. Milk and Cereal, yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
I want to watch that one. Yeah, it's just Obsession and Milk and Cereal. I believe that's his only 2 feature-length ones. So he's
Yeah, and he's got
basically, yeah, for his man, the quality's there.
for sure. Yeah,
Yeah, but
another up and horror icon for for the horror genre. So be it. As long as it's good quality horror.
facts.
Facts.
All right, ladies and
Facts.
gentlemen, that is the conclusion to our review. Let us know what you thought of about the film, and yeah, we got quite a few films coming up this year. I can't name them all, but there's a lot.
Yes, we've slowed down the visits to the cinema mainly because of our classic reviews. I suppose we'll try and balance one cinema film to one classic review. We're still going through the Back to the Futures again. I'm looking forward to that one. We'll probably do that in the next couple of days. And also, I'll probably share some of my short film material as it comes along. I might even make a trailer for my short film and throw it up on the YouTube channel. We'll see how that goes.
Hell yeah. All right, we'll see you next time, ladies and gentlemen.